So over here, this is on this peninsula, we have about 80,000 to 100,000 seals just on this strip. So in Namibia, some of the recent stats, we had about 2.3 million seals in Namibia. At one point, we had more seals than we had people. They were outnumbering us.
Welcome to See You Abroad, where I'm captivating your attention with real travel moments, the people, places, and experiences exactly as I live them. Here, you don't just watch me see the world, you experience it with me. Every step, every turn, through my eyes. So if you're ready, come with me. See ya! So this excursion starts here at the Walvis Bay Waterfront, and I arrived a little before the 8:30 a.m. check-in time, which was perfect because y'all, it was so cold the morning of this excursion. So luckily the shops down here at the waterfront sold hats and gloves because I definitely needed them that morning. Now you may have heard of Africa's Big Five on safari. You know, the lion, rhino, buffalo, leopard, and my personal favorite, the elephant. But did you know Namibia has a marine Big Five? Because I sure didn't. And once I learned that, I knew I had to book this catamaran tour. So today, we're heading out in pursuit of Namibia's marine Big Five. I'm talking whales, dolphins, seals, the prehistoric sunfish, and if we're lucky, the shy leatherback turtles. Now, I had no idea what we were actually going to see, but I was excited to get out on the water and experience a completely different side of Namibia. Hi, good morning.
Hi. How are you, madam?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Good. Hi, good morning.
Good morning, madam. How are you?
Good, thank you. C'è il briefing prima per le norme di sicurezza, eccetera, di sedersi.
Possiamo andare dentro?
La mamma non viene dentro perché dentro la mamma vomita.
Vuoi?
Esatto. No, perché la mamma soffre il mal di mare, quindi fuori sto bene con l'aria, dentro sto malissimo. Io ho già questo. Dillo a me, perché fuori sto bene, non devo andare dentro, con l'aria sto bene. Extras.
Okay, everybody's got a seat. Okay, good morning again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome on board Silver Sand. My name is Monique. I will be your tour guide for today. Just a quick introduction of the team. So you see Mr. John over there. Hello. And the other one at the back is also John. It's nice and easy. One name to remember. So they will be our deckhands. If you need any assistance, please don't hesitate to ask us. We are here to help you. And then at the back there, you see the guy. You see just the head sticking out. That is Eddie. Hello, Eddie. That is our captain. Okay, so he'll be our captain, our skipper for today. As long as we see Eddie there, you see the head popping out, we're in good hands. Everything is good. Okay, if Eddie jumps, we all jump. Okay. In Namibia, the captain doesn't go down with the ship. It doesn't work like that in Africa. Okay. As long as Eddie there, everything is fine. So just quickly, I'm gonna just bore you quickly with all the safety briefings, and then from that, I will let you go. So life jackets. This is just mine. You don't get any today. Okay, don't need to, you have to survive. So we have life jackets on board, enough for everybody. It's not compulsory to wear, okay? So you do not need to wear these lovely orange things. However, if at any point you feel unsafe or you would like jackets for the children, let us know, we will bring them to you, okay? We've never needed to use the life jackets before, and today will not be the day, so don't worry about that. They are stowed at the back of the vessel by the seats. If we ever do need them, we will assist you. We will bring them to you, and all of emergency exits for today, 360 degrees. Okay, wherever you see a spot, you jump over there. But for now it is a little bit windy this morning. The wind is coming from a different direction, from the north. So we are heading straight into the wind this morning. That's why it's a little bit cold, a little bit choppy. But for most of it, we will be inside the bay, so the water's going to be nice and flat. We got the nice big vessel today, so it's very stable, so it should be all very comfortable. Just a few rules. So from here you can walk around, you can go explore the vessel. If you go inside through this door, there's a lovely table that you can sit. There's a few tables inside, so feel free to sit there if you'd like. You'll see there are bathrooms. So as you go through the first door on your left and right, you have the male and female bathrooms. So you're welcome to use the toilet today anytime if you need. If you need to smoke, so we can smoke on board as well, but we ask that you please just smoke behind at the back of the vessel so that the smoke blows in the other direction. Okay, and then if you walk around, just double check it is a sailing vessel, so there's a lot of things on the deck that we can trip over, all of these hatches that we have there, and especially the rope here in front. So just double check, please do not fall in the water. I will leave you, we will come fetch you at the end of the day. And the nets, so the nets are also safe, so you're more than welcome to be on the nets. It's not nice standing weather today. The other day we had somebody that fell asleep on the net, but they are safe. You can come stand in the front, you can come have your Titanic photo up here if you like, so feel free to explore. Okay, I'm going to get the blankets quickly.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Infilala perché fa freddo.
Guarda, va bene? Sono gabbiani, non sono piscioni.
Have a look at this little guy. So this is a small Cape South African brown seal. He's still quite small, so he is older than a year. He doesn't. Oh, mind your head for the pelican. Okay. And here comes the other pelican. Mind your head. Mind your head. Oh no. Okay, so we'll take a moment quickly to just see the seal. So he's coming around. We'll see lots of the seals later today at the breeding colony, but this is the only guy that we have on board. So he's over a year old already because he doesn't need his mom anymore. So we guess he's probably about maybe 2 years old. This guy's so small, so he's still a youngster.
È salita su. Guarda lì, cosa c'è? Guarda.
Careful. Oh, no. So this is a boys also, so the seals, he's a boy, we only get the boys on board. And this is also a male pelican. So their beaks are a bit longer than the females with a bit of a curve here at the top. And I can see it in the coloration of the eyes as well. So this is an adult pelican.
Lippo, girati qua e ride.
Stole the fish. Photo with him? Anybody else who would like to try and take a photo? I can try to get a photo of you and the bird. If I can maybe get a cell phone over there.
Okay, wait a minute.
Oh, the fish is skewing his eye. Okay, close.
No, amore, non fa niente, amore, poi non come niente così qua.
Cosa ci stai facendo? Ma non c'è lo che ti guarda.
No, it's not the fish, it's a
Thank you.
Everybody's posing so nice.
Oh.
Yes, he knew exactly what this was like straight at. You have 100 photos now? Nice to try. Here comes another pelican, mind your head.
Okay.
Okay, so that's
Jesus.
Okay, this is a female. Nice. It's like she knew we needed one. So you can see she's a little bit smaller. The beak is a little bit not as long as the boy. She's also got a knob here on the front of her head and this beautiful orange coloration. So when they are ready to breed, the females, this pink that they have around the eye, it turns orange in the you see in the females. So this is just the blood flow. As the blood flow changes, the males always have this beautiful pink purple coloration. There he goes. See your emergency exit. That's how you do it. Guy. Want to try to take a photo? Oh, this is like Anybody want to take a guess? What do you think a heavy bird, like what does this bird weigh? A big bird like that?
Visto maschio e femmina. No.
You have to try and take a
Adesso di non
guess.
toccarlo.
Yeah, on the dot.
Oh.
Guys, we had a very good guess yesterday. Actually very, very light.
Oh.
We say an average of about 10 kilograms, but for the larger birds, they can go up to 14 kilograms. A really small one will maybe be about 6-7 kilograms. So we
Wow.
say an average of about 10. So they've got hollow bones. The bones inside are completely hollow, and the rest of the bird just consists of feathers. So that's why they're able to be so big but so light. It's just hollow bones and feathers. If they weighed 40, 50, 60, 80 kilograms, they wouldn't be able to fly. It would be like an ostrich, basically. Okay, let's try for a photo.
Sono belli allora? Mi fanno paura.
No, però faceva strano averli così vicini. Cioè,
Maschio e femmina. Vediamo se avevo messo il gol.
è il maschio.
Alzo ti guardo.
My God.
My God. Ma questi fanno la passerella.
Ma se adesso
Like models.
Yeah.
Ma se metto il picco sulle spalle vola via
No,
con il pellicano. Quindi hai già visto
due animali, le foche.
e la foca quanto vicino l'hai vista? Dov'era? Vero? Sì, puoi dire. Si copre.
Questa qua tienla addosso, che dopo l'ha tagliata qua. No, lasciami pure pensare.
Lo porti bene. Sì. Dentro la foca.
Juste un, mais il suit la dame avec son. Elle est sur le portable. Ma ci sono una quantità.
Arms. So here I have an example of what the oyster looks like. So just to try and explain what we are seeing here. So the big blue barrels, these drums that you see floating on the surface, these are just the flotation devices. So if you try to imagine, so each of these big blue drums, these barrels are connected with large ropes under the water. And from these ropes vertically in the water column, you have several baskets hanging in this water column. The water is not very deep where we are now. We're looking at about 8 meters, maybe 7, 8 meters water depth. So it's fairly shallow. And these baskets are hanging about 2 to 5 meters in the water column. They are not touching the bottom. That's also why the oysters that we grow here do not make any pearls. So sometimes people will ask us if they can get a pearl. They do not form pearls, mainly also because they do not reach the bottom of they're not lying on the sand. So when an oyster gets a grain of sand in its body, inside the shell, it sees it as an imperfection. It is annoyed, it tries to get rid of it, and that friction in turn is what will form the pearl. But these guys are hanging straight in the water column. It's open baskets because the water needs to flow through. So as you can see, I can send this guy, this is a live oyster. For you guys maybe sitting a bit closer, you can see that the shell is actually a little bit open. So it's opened over here. That is the oyster because I just took it out of the water at the back there. So it is trying to filter water through its body. So in a place like Front, it will take the oyster 3 years to grow up to this cocktail size. This is what we call the cocktail size, which is very high in demand. 3 years normally for the oyster to grow this big. Right here in Walvis Bay or in Namibia, it takes the same oyster only 1 year to grow up to the same size. So it's 3 times faster. Why? So the reason for that is this cold, dark water that you see here. So you see our water is always this deep green color. It almost looks a little bit brownish today. That is because of the Benguela current. So if you try to imagine the west of Africa, the bottom half of it, so from Cape Town in South Africa up until Angola is where we get this Benguela current. It is a cold water current, so 14 degrees Celsius per annum. So throughout the year, an average of 14 degrees Celsius water temperature. So it's very cold, but very, very rich in nutrients. Oysters are filter feeders, so they will open like this. They will filter several liters of water throughout their body in a day. If you punch it into Google, Google will say 10 liters in an hour, which is a very high filtration rate. So with all of these nutrients and such a high filtration rate, you can imagine it's like all you can through the body the whole time. And that is why it's growing so much faster here. Up to 80% of the oysters that we grow here gets exported overseas. So these are privately owned farms. It's not run by the government. It's all private owners, private investors. So depending on where you have your farm, where the demand is, it gets exported there. We do have, or used to have also a lot of Russian owners. So guys that owned, Russians that owned these farms. A lot of it goes to Vietnam. Some of it goes to South Africa as well. And of course, some of the other 20% stays with us here in Namibia. All for meat. So it's very popular. International standards. So every 6 weeks, the guys from the oyster farms come out on the boat. They will haul these cages out the water and they will clean the oyster. They will make sure it doesn't have any barnacles or any algae growing on the body. No worms. Of course, you don't want any worms in the oyster. So very manual, intensive process. Every 6 weeks they come out, haul out some of these baskets and clean the oyster. Make sure that they are growing nicely and that they are clean to be exported. Okay, we have fresh oysters on board today. So later this afternoon, we will open up these oysters. We'll pair them with a bit of sparkling wine and we recommend definitely for you to try these oysters. Okay, there's lemon wedges, Tabasco, pepper. So however you like, we definitely recommend you try them. Okay. For now, so we headed out. You see where the lighthouse is there in front of us. So we're making our way to the lighthouse. The sandbank that you see on your left-hand side, this is Pelican Point Peninsula. So it's not an island. It is connected with the land. As we get closer, we'll start to see cars on the beach. So just to make that connection, you can drive. It is connected with the land. We'll see the kayak is in the water, and all of these brown bits that you see on the surf on the beach, everything that's lying there, those are the seals. So there's a breeding colony of Cape fur seals that we are on our way to. This acts as a barrier for the Atlantic Ocean. So maybe every now and again you'll see some waves that are breaking over on the side of the peninsula. That is the Atlantic Ocean just on the other side. So this is a barrier for all the swell, the current, the waves. It stops it from coming into the bay. So this is what helps to form the bay of Walvis Bay where we are now. This is also why we see so many vessels on anchor. So all of these vessels that we see on the right hand side, there's different types of vessels. They are all on anchorage. So basically like parking your car in a garage, they park here in the bay. We have some of our local fishing vessels that are here. We have a lot of offshore support and supply vessels. So these ones that look almost like a flatbed truck. So they've got the big structure in the front, flat at the back. Those are the vessels that will run offshore to take supply, run all the equipment back and forth to them. And then tankers. So the long flat ones are tanker vessels. Okay. Then John number one is bringing out your second type of coffee for today, adult only. So this is a sherry. It's called the Old Brown Sherry. It is an alcoholic beverage. 17% alcohol in there. The rest is all fun. So it's very, very sweet. If you don't know what a sherry is, it's not a port, but it's almost like a port, like a very sweet wine. Some people can try and convince us that it's rum, but it is a sherry.
Thank you.
So we call it a Namibian coffee to make it completely acceptable that you can drink alcohol 9 o'clock in the morning, okay? So don't worry. It warms you up really nicely on the inside, so it's perfect for a day like today. And they always say the rule with the sherry is the more of that you drink, the more we see today, okay? So it's completely your responsibility. If we don't see anything today, it's because you didn't drink enough. Okay?
Ha detto che più beviamo più riusciamo a vedere poi e quindi è tutta nostra responsabilità. No, devi
Good. Just something light to snack on. Chocolate. Yes, so there's a variety of chocolate. These are dried meat, so the popular droeworst and biltong. This one is spicy, it's got the chili. Dried fruit, and this is also dried fruit but with sugar on, so it's also a sweet version.
Oh,
Thank you. Thank you so much.
thank you. Try a little bit of everything. Thank you. Perfect. Thank you.
Welcome. Would you like something to snack on so long? So these are some chocolates. These are droeworst, so it's like dried meat. This one's got chili on, so chili bite. It's dried fruit, and this is also a dried fruit but with some sugar on. So it's like a bit more of a sweet dried fruit. Yeah. Yeah, so they taste like normal dried fruit, but they process it, they roll it out, they put sugar around it. So it's sweet, but it's still fruit. Like sweet. Cheese. Guardate qua. Alles vrolijk en zo nog even opstaan met loop. Ik vang even jou. We zijn zo train, zo net voor guide, die zo weer in de. Ja. Chắc chắn.
I didn't know she was still on board.
No, I didn't. I came down here to get out of the
Right.
It's warmer down here.
It is.
Yeah, than it is up
Absolutely. Can definitely feel a difference.
C'est le blanc. T'as vu? C'est le blanc de Roxinou. Non.
Non, sinon elle est comme les Béliens. To Pelican Point Peninsula. So as you can see here, we've reached, so this is part of the breeding colony. So like the small seal that we had on board earlier this morning, this is where we will go when he's bigger, when he's sexually mature. So over here, this is, on this peninsula, we have about 80,000 to 100,000 seals just on this strip. So in Namibia, some of the recent stats, we had about 2.3 million seals in Namibia. At one point, we had more seals than we had people. They were outnumbering us. So what we are seeing at the moment are mostly just the female seals with their youngsters or sexually immature bulls. So when the bulls are big, when they're sexually mature, they only join the colony in the breeding season. So they will spend most of the year offshore. They will do small local migrations up and down the coast, but they only come to the colonies when it's time for breeding, which is in October. So in October month, we'll start seeing the big guys that will come to the colony. They typically stay for about 6 weeks at a time. During that time, one bull will get like what we call a harem, basically, of several females. So the saying is always that one bull can mate with 30 different females during that time, during that 6-week period. So they are mammals, just like us. So that is why they are able to sit on the beach like this. They're not fish, they breathe air, they breathe oxygen. So up to 70% of the seal's life, they actually spend like this on the beach. So when she is impregnated, the female, it takes actually only 9 months to grow the fetus until full term, but they only give birth in the next breeding season. So there is about a 3 or a 4 month delay where the embryo stays dormant after she's been impregnated. So she will give birth the next year into that breeding season. She produces milk just like we do, mammals. So she will give birth to one pup at a time. We don't see twins very often. One pup at a time. It will drink milk from the mother for at least a year. When the babies are a year old, you see these guys that are in front of us, really tiny seals. So when they are about a year old, they'll stop drinking from the mother and they can learn to fish for themselves.
Oh.
So they will have their babies from November, December up until late January. We don't have great white sharks in Namibia, so there are no great whites that are predating on these seals, unlike in South Africa. We also don't have resident killer whales, so there are no killer whales or orca that are predating on these seals. The only predators they have would be the jackal. So we have black-backed jackals that live on this peninsula. From the turtles. And once again, so this acts as the barrier. That's why we don't have to worry about those waves at the moment. The bay is nice and calm, shallow, so an average of 10-meter depth for this whole day.
And this is still just part 1. This catamaran tour was already giving such a unique look at Walvis Bay. But trust me, part 2 is where the fun really begins because baby, the ocean had a lot more in store for us. I'm talking dolphins, more seals, whale sightings, and an unbelievably close humpback encounter that I still can't believe happened. And of course, we have to get into this lunch spread. See you in part 2.